So I was trying to search something to leave in the background, and I saw this video from Asmon reacting to a recent Hasan drama. And oh boy, did he advocate for genocide again? What did he do this time? Like, it's always a Hasan drama. So I tried listening to it, and as I was listening to both sides, reading comments and listening to him, I think there's a bit of a nuance between the two sides that I don't think us Mongold is willing to say it, or he doesn't have the language to explain it. So I think I can contribute something to this conversation. So let's hear the entire video.
Doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that streaming will. And the funny thing about
There's someone clipping
this kid
random.
goes and he says this to try to like fucking throw up a white flag. He's like, no, I'm actually on your side. I agree with them, bro.
Yeah. Like, why would he do this? Like, it's obviously the way he phrased it. It's inflammatory. It's supposed to signal to the public, like, oh, look at this privileged asshole. Look what he's doing.
Quit the fucking capping. Like, this kid is lying. You're lying. What do you mean you agree with this tweet when you preface it by saying millionaire streamer? You really think that we don't, like, you think I haven't spent the last 20 years seeing Fox News do this shit?
Yeah, like, he doesn't phrase it like experienced streamer, Twitch streamer, social media celebrity, or whatever. He just phrases it in a way where he's talking about the success in his job, and we all associate streaming as something of a privilege. And when you put millionaire, like, it's obvious what he's doing. I don't know why would he lie about this.
CNN do this shit? He definitely is trying to
can't just
the shit out of him.
Call him millionaire streamer and then, oh no, I don't mean it. Yeah, it's weaselly behavior.
This guy goes and farms a bunch of hate. My message to Hasan fans: get a job.
But if I do have a job,
what are you doing?
It's just backpedaling all over the place.
This guy farms hate on Hasan. He gets 15 people from Hasan's chat saying, I don't agree with you. You took it out of context.
I mean, at least he should have gotten Twitter Blue or something. I don't know.
He changed his mind because Destiny said he agrees with Hasan.
Huh.
TC Brady is in Destiny's Discord.
Okay, but sure, but that doesn't.
It's good to know that it wasn't really a principled stance. Let's listen
to what
Hasan says. And this is
does Asmon hate Destiny or something?
Out of context, and we'll watch the full context in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
I don't know what to say about that. Have you seen people? I don't know.
Yes. So that's the original clip, and
at the store selling you stuff. Have you seen people having to be awake at 6 a.m. going to a job? Like, what he's actually saying is that, oh my god, it's so socially draining, it's so tiresome, it's so exhausting to having to deal with these people. And it's true, but again, there's some context missing to this. Let's hear what Asmon has to say about it.
It's a 2-minute clip, and so this is him explaining what actually was said.
No.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in retail, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here, and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job, okay? I'm telling you, as someone who did both, like, 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps
That's
you out from
the
social
that's the
scenarios.
key thing.
After 9
People
hours of that,
pleasing.
I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me. But I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point.
I'm the same way.
I'm the same way as well, by the way.
There are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people
I think it's even after 4 hours you're just done with it.
pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are like, I think,
The real
customer
reason
service
why this
shit.
happens is that you can't just fake positive emotions all the time, all the time, all the time. And if you have negative emotions, well, those are even more draining than the usual. But the way he phrases it, does he actually think people don't have low energy social battery drained from real jobs? Does he actually think that? I mean, sure, some jobs are easier than others. Obviously, there are some jobs where you literally pretend you work like 1 hour doing random code and then you just mess around for another 6 or something. Like, sure, there are some jobs extremely easy, but does he not actually think there are jobs that actually destroy you? Working in medicine, uh, working physical jobs, actual hard physical jobs. Those will drain your social battery as well. And when people hear that, oh, it's so hard for you to be sitting on a chair all day and just yapping and just getting all this money. What these people don't understand, and no one doesn't understand, that it's hard having a career. That's what's actually hard. It's hard not to mess up saying something to someone when you actually want to say it with all your heart, but you have to shut up while they're constantly harassing you, while they're constantly messing with you, constantly putting you under pressure. Like if you're on your normal job, if someone's bothering you, you don't have to put it with that unless it's your boss, but that's different. But if there's a client who wants to mess with you, there will be consequences. Like someone could just make a billion accounts, harass on the most deepest personal level the streamer and just mess his life constantly. It's so tiresome not having to destroy your career, because even if you say that to that person, guess what? They will take that clip and they will portray you as this vile, hateful person. Nobody wants to work with you. Nobody wants to associate with you. All the advertisers are gonna blacklist you and so on. That's what actually it's hard. That's what's socially draining, and this is what a lot of people don't seem to understand. It's hard having a career. The actual activity of sitting in front of the computer and streaming and watching videos and playing video games, yeah, that's not that hard. That's not that hard. Sure, managing the career, saying the right things, not saying the wrong things, that's what's actually socially draining. But let's look more into it.
But like if you're an accountant, or if you're even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours.
Yeah.
With like a back and forth interaction.
And of course, some people will have different things that will please them.
Your social
and if you
battery,
act
just tap out
towards
that.
some people, you might get other people angry.
Like,
so there's
you
not
give
really
presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk.
Or the department manager just occasionally is just
also
like,
there's
hey, you suck.
one thing where you don't actually have to talk for 9 hours. Sure, the top tier streamers take Adderall, take. I heard stories about cocaine. I heard some things, but let's be honest, the top streamers don't really stream for that long, and if they do, they are not really that active, and it's not the way he phrases it. You can do 9 hour streams where you actually constantly talk and no breaks and so on, but that's so rare.
Bitch! Bald ass bitch, you fell off, huh? We're gonna remember this in your performance review. You
That's
fat
not
fuck.
even the worst things possible.
Stupid ass bitch.
Ever again.
Like, there will be insane, vile people, evil, ontologically evil people that will just come and spam your address if they can manage to get it, haunt you over health issues or deaths from your family. God forbid if you had a public relationship, they will attack that. Just look at what they did with Tectone, and that's even mild compared to what has happened to other people. Like, someone calling you fat or whatever, or ugly or bald, or bro, that's like nothing. That's shell play. You just say to your mind, oh, look at this guy. Who cares? But even that, let's not kid ourselves. If you manage to deal with that, or rather, if you deal with that for a long while, it will get to you. Like, you'll have anger and stress gathered in you, and at one point you're just going, no, I don't want to deal with this shit. You're just gonna be, nah, fuck it. And even a meaningless detail from one guy would still get to you.
So people getting mad. It's a bad take. What's it a bad take of? He says that he gets exhausted socially because he's talking to people for 9 hours a day. You really think that's not true? I mean, you really think it's not true that after you spend 9 hours being investigated by thousands of people,
Yep.
with every facial movement,
Yep.
everything you say, every word, with people
That's the hard
constantly
part.
trying to
Having your
disagree with you
career.
and fight
That's
with
the
you.
hard part.
That's not like socially draining.
Because more or less every single message you see, especially in top streamers chat, there are streamers who don't read messages, but even the ones they do, they look at it just like that. Rapid fire, and sure, they will address some, but even if they don't address some, there's all, it's like death with 1,000 cuts. It will be, it will not harm you necessarily, but if you combine them all together, they will get to a point where you'll just be mentally drained from dealing with them. This is actually where the normie, the person, the average person, like, I don't know how it's like to be Asmon. I don't know how it's like to be a top tier streamer. I only know how it's like to deal with a very small community. Do you guys think any of us could handle this? I don't think so, and that's the point.
Totally understandable. And he's not comparing it to every other job. He's saying compared to other jobs where you're not talking to people constantly. His take isn't broad enough. Yeah, it is. He explained it pretty clearly. The clip out of context was posted 30 minutes after he said that. Instantly on Reddit, it blew up calling him a dumbass, which just reinforces his argument.
He's not a dumbass.
Yeah, it's definitely understable. Exactly.
He's just very bad at explaining some things.
Not saying it isn't, but it's not as bad as others. I think that, like, so streaming as like a job is extremely socially draining.
Mm-hmm.
It is. That's why like there's a weird
I think the average person doesn't even want to admit this. Like, they don't even want to handle this. People manage to deal with some people at their workplace, and maybe it's personal, maybe it's not personal, but even when you're offline as a streamer, you still have to maintain a persona, you still have to maintain face. And if you go totally offline, you just do that because you're so done for the day. You don't want to deal with anyone.
catch-22, where a lot of streamers are introverted, but being a streamer requires you to do a lot of things that extroverts want
Nah, this is actually a bad take from
you
him.
to do. So, like, in order to be good at something, you have to be one way.
Listen, talking to yourself is a very introverted thing to do, okay? You're not actually talking to 20,000 people. Sure, 20,000 people are typing to you behind a screen. You are talking to yourself for the most part. You are alone. So, what I'm trying to say is that you'll see these very vocal streamers online act introverted in real life. Why? Because that's when it actually matters. That's when it really matters the way you are as a person. When you talk to a monitor, that's just you, bro. That's just you talking to yourself. Sure, you're not supposed to dehumanize the people that are typing messages to you. I'm not saying you do that, or I'm not saying I do that. I'm just explaining that it's not the same. I'd say it would be harder to talk to one person in the room while streaming than talking with 1,000 people in the chat. Like, definitely that would be a lot harder and it would require a lot more social energy. That's what I'm saying. So
And in order to
this
cope
take
with
is
it,
totally
the success of being good at it, you have to be another way. And so that's what it is.
nah, he's wrong here.
Hasan's basically explaining that in a more, direct way. You could say a simpler way, and he's getting shit on. But a lot of people think they're introverted whenever they're actually extroverts. Well, I don't know about that. Did you start the stream? You went right into this? Yeah, because I usually spend the first hour of my stream talking about nothing.
Don't really care about
Fucking
this.
sit around and talk about like, oh, I went live late today. So yeah. Like, we're not going to get into that again. Having streaming as a job is an exhausting situation. Yeah, of course it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hasan is right. People are just reactionary. They absolutely are. Someone actually said real job. What does that mean?
I think maybe streamers don't want to accept that they are actually hated even when they are loved. This is something that I think if you are going to, in this profession, if I say so, you'll have to accept this, that even the most beloved people are one scandal or a few scandals away from being hated by their audience entirely. So whenever there's a reason to see someone big to fall, oh, the people are vicious, bro. Like, we had witch hunting, we have at burning at the stake, we had lynching, and you guys think trying to public cancel a streamer is not the modern equivalent of that? So obviously people shouldn't make, or rather streamers shouldn't make the mistake of thinking they are loved. That's what I have to say about that.
Man, a real job is
I think the best thing you can hope for as a streamer is that you'd want your audience to love the way you talk. If they love your content, well, what does that mean? Maybe they like you for a game, or maybe they like you because you react to videos, or maybe they like you for your banter or whatever. The best you can hope for is that you have a very specific way you talk, and through that people can watch anything you do. If you can accommodate your audience to do that, then that's the best thing in the world, for a streamer at least.
The job that you have, bullshit jobs are the ones that other people have. It's just that simple. It's quite trendy and quite frankly easy to shit on Hasan. That's the crux of it all. Well, hey, if it's so easy to shit on him, then why are you making up fake reasons to do it? If he's got so many bad
I think people are just...
and he says all this stuff that's wrong.
I think there have been a lot of videos attacking Hasan.
Rather than taking something that's totally understandable.
No, it's not it's not totally understandable. That's the point. That's the point. It's totally understandable for him because he can relate. But most people have no way of relating to this.
That it's not. He makes thousands.
I think this is the issue where, not the issue. This is where you can highlight the fact that Asmon's a bit autistic. I'd say disconnected from reality. Like most people just despise the fact that someone can just stay at home. Like it's such a privilege to just stay at home. It's such a privilege that people want.
Trying to relate to normal work.
And when they see someone that stays at home complaining about the fact that he is paid to stay at home, boy oh boy do they lose their mind.
Stupid. Well, there are normal working people that also make thousands of dollars a day. So,
and that's the thing. There are jobs which pay a lot more than streaming. There are jobs which are even easier. There are a lot of jobs. But people just despise streaming as a culture.
I don't really understand what your point is.
Even if they love consuming it, even if they love the content, they don't give a They don't care about the content creators.
Yeah, I mean...
It's really dehumanizing, but...
What do you mean? It's a stupid comparison. Yeah, what? You think streamer is the only job that you can make a lot of money in? I have tons of friends that make tons of money.
Yeah, and despite that...
a lot of them aren't streamers.
Despite that, guess who's hated more?
Yeah, what do you mean? That's... Yeah, what the fuck? No. It's chatter can't think past two. Exactly. They're not normal anymore. Well, I think that is normal as in, they don't work in entertainment. Right? They don't work in entertainment. Why do people assume that money solves all your issues and doesn't drain you? Well, hey, Kanye West said it.
Oh boy.
He said that I was gonna make a joke, but I figured actually, you know what? We'll give that another 6 months before I make those jokes.
Yeah, sure.
He said having money isn't everything, but not having it is.
So even that is a statement of privilege. So what does that mean? It means that having the privilege to think about other things is something that most people in this economy, in this recession, in this constant daily struggle can't afford to think about. If you're gonna ask a rich person if they rather have a poor person's issues, and ask a poor person if they rather have a rich person's issues. That's the thing. That's the point. Are you trying to make the poor person resonate with your issues, Mr. Millionaire YouTuber? Of course they won't. They won't be able to do it. They can't do it. They just dismiss you, man. Even if you're making a valid point.
I think that's really the truth, right? That's it. So, if you don't have money...
And that's the issue, by the way. That's the thing that Asmon is kind of trying to say.
That's everything in your life.
And it will be
If you
really
have money,
visible
you realize
later
that
on.
there are other problems in life that are also important. But if you don't have that, money is going to mean more to you than almost
Yeah,
anything else.
of course.
So yeah. Streamer doesn't make a lot of money. When you actually normalize the salary, engineers, doctors, people in trades make median more than a streamer. Streaming is extremely top heavy. Well, of course it is. And there are a lot of people that are grinding away and they stream 8 hours a day
And they don't get
let's say,
paid
300 viewers, 500 viewers.
as much.
They make $100,000 a year.
And they might make even better content than the top heavy streamers. Who cares?
Let's be very,
It's a hard job, but it doesn't matter.
very, very optimistic here.
And this is the main issue people have, streamers have. They are supposed to be liked. They are supposed to be likable. But what people like is the content. You as a person, they don't like you. Even if you're the content, but the person, they don't care about you. You're supposed to sell yourself as the content, but they don't care about you. They care about the content. It's like they care about the persona, and the persona is a copycat of you. They care about the copycat, the abstract thing, but they don't care about you. This is what the streamer needs to see.
Make $100,000
This is what the viewer needs to understand if they don't already.
year. And like, I'll be real. If somebody was making that much money and, you know, like, it was like, is this really a good idea for you to do this? Probably not.
Oh yeah.
$100,000 is still a lot. It is a lot, but whenever you think about the fact that streaming is just so transient, like, for example,
Yeah, it means
you can
nothing.
get banned. Oh,
I've mostly noticed this myself. Like, I have so many good memories from streaming and so many bad ones and so little trace of it on the internet. Like, this is a tangent, but this is something that I personally wish I would have done differently. I wish I would have left a bigger mark on this. I wish I would have recorded more clips, more videos during the years. And that's how I actually started YouTubing, streaming, just recording some of my better memories, and then it turned into something else. But yeah,
well, now you're banned. Now what?
it's
Like,
not
all of
even.
your job
He's talking
experience-
from a job perspective, job's point of view. But I'm also talking about it from a meaningful experience, something that could leave a mark, something that could please your soul.
Everything
Both are
you
true, by the way.
did, like, it's
He's also right.
completely different. Like, you have like a 3-year gap in employment. You have like this online presence that, you know, creates a context in which people see you. So yeah,
Unless
you
you're a
can get
VTuber.
fired. Exactly. No, yeah, you definitely can get fired. But the difference is that, like, streaming, there are jobs that exist in entertainment that streaming helps you understand and learn. That's definitely true. But at the same time, there are also a lot of people, and I think in most traditional jobs, those people don't really have the same opportunities. It's like, for example, if you work as an accountant and you get fired from one place, it's not going to be as hard to get another job as an accountant versus if you work on Twitch and you stream on Twitch, you get banned on Twitch, it's probably going to be a lot harder for you to transition over to YouTube or Kick.
Yeah,
That's my point, right?
that's also true, but what Asmon is trying to fail to say here is that you could transition into those things, but you're not going to be as successful while moving to them. And you can also transition to another job, not necessarily as a streamer. You could also still do that, but you're not going to retain the same audience, and that's the point. You're not going to be as successful. You can still do similar things, but you are not going to reach, it's not going to be the same.
There's negative externalities if a streamer wants to get a real job. Yeah, of course. And so it's really not it's not that complicated. But anyway, yeah, so Hasan said this today, and naturally everybody is congratulating themselves about, here's a dumbass clip, Hasan being welcomed into the emo community. Oh yeah, I did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he did the emo. I saw that with
I don't
that
know what's
Johnny
this
guy. I looked
about,
at that earlier.
and I
And so there's a
don't
lot of
think I
people.
wanna know.
Streaming is literally the easiest part of being a content creator. You just sit down, make money, just
Oh, this part. Oh, this is where I started a video by saying that I think Asmon wants to say something, but I don't think he can express it, or I don't think he can fully say it. Like, pay attention to how he treats this other content creator. I'm gonna full screen it.
spawns in. It's just so goddamn free. Who is this guy? Does he stream?
Yes.
They have 400 viewers.
You guys know how hard it is to get 400 viewers? It's insane. It's literally one of the hardest things to do. It's such it's so hard. Yet look how he treats him.
Streaming is easy. Being good at streaming is hard.
And this is what he actually wants to say to the normies that don't empathize with him. This is what he wants to say to the other people. This is what he wants to say to the normal person.
Hopefully now he understands. I understand, obviously, there's a lot of people. Bad take. No, isn't 400 viewers good? Oh, it's definitely good. But you're not going to go and tell somebody who's one of the top streamers on the entire platform that it's
There
easy.
you go.
Do you really think that Hasan's experience and this random's experience is going to be...
This random's experience. So, this is the point he's trying to make, in my opinion. I think he's just trying to say that people like Hasan, I think he wants to say himself, he feels entitled for empathy because he's on the top in this industry, and people will never empathize with you, bro. They will never do it. So he's belittling this guy who's his competition, and he's doing quite well, by calling him a random and putting him in his place. This because he's not on the top. He's one of the better content creators for sure
the same
in terms of numbers, but he's like, it's like a rank 1 player in League making fun of a low master, to give an example. Yeah, like, sure, you're top one at the top of the league, but you're not the very top. And the difference between that and rank 1, what he's trying to explain, is so huge.
That's insane. Of course 400 viewers is good. But
of course
don't go
low
talk to
master is
somebody
good.
who gets 20,000 regularly,
But
and
rank
act like
1,
you're on the same level, because you're not. All streamers have some
exactly.
kind of hope.
Exactly. And this is, I think, a message to the normal viewers as well. You're never going to be rank 1. You're never going to be that. And that's why it's hard. It's hard socially navigating every situation to keep your career, to be at the top. That is what's hard. Not sitting around on the chair, not staying with air conditioning and so on.
Well, what's the cope here? I mean, I'm not really sure if I'm understanding this. You say people disagree with his take on the whole job thing, made up fake reason to shit on him for it. When you added a word to his take socially, it does a lot of heavy lifting, unless I miss some context, kind of disingenuous. Well, he's talking about socially. Like, the reason why I'm saying that is because that's what he's saying. So, for example, like if I listen to the clip, right? Like you just listen to the first few seconds of the clip.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in
So I'm not using the word. I listen to the clip.
Sure.
That's all. It's not hard. I think most people made up their mind on something like this before they listened to it.
Yep.
So whenever they have to hear context that makes their original
And
assumption.
again, this is the struggle. You're not going to get normal people to empathize with you. Right now, people are interacting with the content. I am interacting with the content of Asmon. Even if I were to know Zach the person, I'm interacting with the person Asmon. It doesn't matter if Asmon is the same as Zach. People only care about Asmon.
Wrong, they're getting.
They don't care about Zach. And sure, there are some parasocial people, and you could establish real friendships from streaming. But we're talking about the general public, obviously, the vast majority.
That's the problem. Exactly. It's like a supermodel saying they have a harder job than a catalog model. Well, I'm not really sure. Hasan's an artist. His father famous for being.
Well, yeah, or like I gave the example with League of Legends Low Master with rank 1.
Young Turks. Everybody always has their opinion about Hasan. And I understand that you might not like things that Hasan has said on his stream. There are things that he might have said that have upset you, that have made you mad, that you don't like.
I don't think it has anything to
Why
do
not
with Hasan
focus on the
itself.
real-
I think any streamer who would make this argument, the general reaction from the public would be the same.
Ones. Why are you inventing things that didn't happen?
It's
and
not
then
even
getting
about
mad
that.
about them? It makes you look stupid. If you have all of these problems with somebody, then it doesn't seem very legitimate whenever you have to make up new problems.
Yeah, I don't think it
that
even
don't
has to do with
actually
that.
exist.
I don't know if there's anything
That's
left
what
in the
my
clip.
opinion is. They're soft. Yes, the guys are making what's this here? A career. These guys making a career of being bitter. Isn't that pathetic? Oh yeah, absolutely. The area of conversation with politics is more draining than some other types of streaming. Oh yeah. Hasan didn't start from zero. Who cares if he did? Very few people start really from zero.
Oh boy, now this is a hot take.
Most people have advantages, and I'll tell you one thing. If you're able to be talking in this chat, you didn't start from zero either.
What if we don't start from zero, but the social economic issues tend to lead us to worse situations or worse places we started from, while actually doing fine ourselves? This is such a Asmon has this idea that you can just work your way up. You can just work hard or work more, and you'll be successful. Well, a lot of people are just doing that, and they are still failing due to random luck, due to economy, due to inflation, due to wars, due to starvation. And when you're going to call those people privileged just because they are people dirt poor in the world, nobody wants to hear it, bro. Because you can just see your life getting worse, and people will never, ever accept your position.
There's people in the world that don't have an internet connection, and you
Oh
do.
boy.
But somehow you're going to be complaining about how you can't fix your life, and those people who don't have an internet.
Yes, but I don't interact with that part of the world. It's like telling me, how should I make this example? It's like telling me a character from a video game has had a tough life. He lost his parents at 8. He doesn't have limbs. He doesn't have hands. Bro, I'm not interacting with that person in that part of the world. Sure, if I met that person, I would feel differently, but I'm interacting with society. I'm interacting with the people around me. I'm interacting maybe with foreign countries. I'm interacting with the world that is part of this bracket, to say that, to put it. Yeah, of course, it could be worse. Some people are less privileged. That's besides the point. When you what's that saying? When you're a fish in an aquarium, or that seems like an ocean or something like that. Well, more or less at a higher stage, this is the world for most people. Most people just see what they are limited to. And sure, the fish is unaware that there's an entire ocean, but guess what? That fish will probably never get to that ocean to see how big the world is. And so will most people. They will not interact with the very, very poorest countries in the world. They will not interact with the poorest people in the world. They will just interact with their members of the society. And they can, if they compare with them and they compare their lives and they see it getting worse, and they're also comparing with you, Mr. Asmon, and they're also comparing with the streamers, and they see their lives being worse than those who they admire to be, well, of course, they are not going to empathize with this point of view.
A connection or working to get one. So you can complain and cry about, oh, Hasan got in, he's a Young Turks, his uncle worked there, and all of these things can be true. But the reality is that all of us have different degrees of privilege. That's why we're here. Do you really think that somebody without privilege, without any privilege, is going to be sitting at 9 p.m. watching a video game stream? Get the
fuck out of here. I would say so. Having an internet connection in our civilized society is probably the lowest common denominator. It's even homeless people have an internet connection. So he is out of touch. He doesn't understand how poor the West is, how poor the civilized people are. He doesn't get it. He's just seeing it as a privilege. No, bro. A lot of people stay on the internet because they're poor. Oh, but they should just go and to work. Yeah? Work one of those privileged jobs where they are soul crushed for minimum wage. And then when they get home, a millionaire streamer, Hasan Paikar, is going to ostracize them. He's going to complain what a bad life he has. That's not an argument. And I've seen Asmon make this point countless times. He either doesn't get it, or he doesn't believe in it.
fuck out of here. Come on. What are you thinking? Being alive is a privilege. Oh yeah, for sure. And
being alive is a privilege. Oh yeah, is this the lowest common denominator? Oh, so why are we even talking about other issues then? Why do we care about Hasan's issues? Okay, if being alive is a privilege, why bother? It's the same nihilistic argument when people say nothing matters. Oh, why don't you use Tristana W over a bridge then? You know, if nothing matters, why bother doing anything? It's the same type of brain-dead argument. Maybe he just said, oh yeah, for sure, as a response to a throwaway comment, but I don't know if he actually believes that or not.
And also, people can't control, this is the other thing, people can't control the circumstances that they're born under.
Okay.
Whether that means if they're disabled, whether that means if they're white, black, male, female, gay, not gay.
This is one of those arguments that it's hard to dismiss on their own, because this entire society is built around you, the individual, being the person. I wouldn't say society, this entire Western world built around the individual being this person, this atomized individual with the will to change his life. Like, bro, sure you don't have control over this, but do you know who does? Your parents, your grandparents. And do you know who you have control over? Your children. So sure, you yourself don't have control over the things you are born, but your parents did. And you will have control over your potential children if you're going to have to. And you're going to set them up for that privilege, right? So, in a way, you do have control through your parents. If your parents set you up with privilege, it's on you. You are going to fail if as a parent you're not going to set up the same privilege. It's a generational thing. And those who think only in terms of their own decisions are just limited. They have to see the bigger picture, I think.
Straight, I guess you could say. Whether they're poor, whether they're rich, whether they're short, whether they're tall. So I find it to be odd that we all agree that it's generally not a good idea to make fun of people for things that they can't control.
Okay, so this is the end of the video. I also saw a comment that actually caught my attention. This one, this guy. So, due to this video, to this comment, I decided to make this small video, talk to you about what I think. I lay bricks for a living, $32 an hour, it's backbreaking work. So, for instance, do you understand for a Romanian? I'm Romanian, I'm one of the persons in the video that Asmon says I have a certain type of privilege, and this guy has also a certain type of privilege. So from Asmon's perspective, he is privileged and he doesn't see it, and probably there's someone out there who sees my life and thinks I'm privileged. But $42 an hour? Bro, that's so much. An hour, it's backbreaking. I would kill people to get paid $50K a month to sit on my arse and talk to the camera for 9 hours a day in air conditioning, eating and drinking whenever I want to go to the toilet, whenever I want. Sounds like heaven. Yeah, why don't you do it? Go do it. It's so easy, right? Go do it. Asmon Gold is so out of touch, sometimes it worries me. It is true, Asmon is out of touch, but so is he. Or maybe he needs a reality check. Sure beats the heck out of laying bricks for 10 hours a day, with only 3 breaks that equal up to 45 minutes in the 25. Okay, so he's just you have to go to no slowing down, no relaxing, no people to conform me to say yes, king, I with your god influence out sometimes. But he's also out of touch. He is also out of touch. You know, if Asmon Gold or whatever, Hasan, I don't know about Asmon Gold, but Hasan could do his job. Hasan could go into the sun and work in the 38 degrees sun. His job. Can he make a living and be the top streamer in a hyper competitive environment where tens of thousands of people want you virtually dead? No, he can't. He is out of touch too. Streaming is a hard job. It's not the activity itself to stay on your ass and talk to people. It's, again, having a career. He could do that as well. Would you wanna know why he doesn't do it? He doesn't do it because nobody would watch him. He doesn't do it because nobody would care. And if you can't do that, you need to make money. These people not only make money, but they manage to make it somehow that enough people agree with him. So it's the same argument that was used in football. Messi or Ronaldo have this much money. Well, can you do what Messi or Ronaldo do with the ball? Go sell a stadium like Messi or Ronaldo. They earn their salaries. They earn that. And what Asmon Gold doesn't want to say, and I noticed it when he called that 400 per viewer streamer a random and put him in his place, gave him a reality check that he's not on the top, gave him a reality check that he shouldn't talk. What he's trying to say is that he's better. Like, anyone can lay bricks, anyone can do a hard job, but nobody. But being on the top, being at the top in his field, it's something that someone should respect. But he's not gonna get that respect. No, because people want you as an influencer destroyed. And the funny part is, the comedic part is, that you need to be likable to be on the top. So how can you say you're better? Oh, you're not better than me. I hate you now. You can't say that. You can't say to the people, shut the fuck up, because you're going to lose your career. You can't reality check them because they don't want to hear it. Because they're like this guy. They don't want to hear that they're privileged for having this much money, and they also don't want to hear they can never do what Asmon does or Hasan Piker does. They don't want to hear that. They never want to hear that. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do as a streamer? There's no way out. There's no way to make people empathize with you. I don't think there's a way to make people understand how much work, how hard it is to have a career. Not the streaming itself, have a career. They don't want to hear it and they don't care. And when you do fall off, they find it funny. So what then? Anyway, this was my take. I think both parties are out of touch, the streamers and the viewers. But let me tell you, I'm not doing too well as a content creator. I'm not doing too well as a streamer. And I'm barely making ends meet. I still don't want to get a normal job. Wanna know why? Because it's a lot harder than streaming. That's my personal opinion. Even if maybe some people don't agree. See ya. Bye.